Among the books that I bought at the Rotary Club book sale in our Undercroft earlier this year was a New York Times bestseller lauded by numerous respected publications. Its title is Why Does the World Exist? And is described as an existential detective story, and it caught my eye. And then it sat in the pile as I read much lighter things to pass away the pandemic hours, weeks, and now months. And not long ago, as I reached for my next spy novel, I had a twinge of guilt about the steady diet of fluff that I was feeding my brain, and considered that it might be good to spend some time with something a bit more intellectually rigorous. So with a huffy breath, I picked up Jim Holt's book, which is all about his search for the answer or answers to the question, why is there something rather than nothing at all? His first chapter is a survey of the many ways that that question has been pondered through the ages. They fall into three categories. One, that the world is a creation of a creator. Two, existence is the result of some sort of generative accident. And three, consists of anything but one, and I don't know about two. Arguments from believers in a creator will eventually come to the place of the ultimate origin question is one that science can ask but cannot answer. Exhausted by such a line of thinking, an atheist will fall back on the world just is, having popped into being with no cause at all. Mr. Holt exhaustively cited Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, numerous philosophers and scientists since them, authors Voltaire, Tolstoy, Tolkien, and even Tennessee Williams. By page 35, I was exhausted and feeling almost annoyed that I had no interest in finishing this book. It had become clear to me that I have no desire to ponder life in this universe as devoid of intention and purpose. Even though I cannot satisfactorily define God, I'm not willing to consider life without. So reading and now hearing the grand words of Isaiah this week were like balm for my soul. I love the majesty and conviction of how God's presence is affirmed. The existence of God is truly good news to me. So many things are hard right now that I take great comfort in knowing that our lives are a part of something so much bigger, something that has an orderly structure and intent, and to paraphrase Martin Luther King, it may happen slowly, but the arc of the universe bends toward justice. And justice is not only about laws and courts, it is the fundamental intent of relationships. When we truly, truly believe that all people are created equal, then justice is possible because relationships are right and good. Sometimes we have to get out of ourselves and look for a bigger context. If you only hear and accept bad news, you might believe that we are a crime-ridden nation. Actually, violent crime has steadily decreased in the U.S. for decades. If you despair at the idea of irredeemable, dire poverty, it's good to get a global perspective. According to the United Nations, the global poverty rate has been cut in half over the last 20 years. That's not to say that income inequality and disparity to access of basic needs has been overcome. It hasn't, but because there is an underlying order and trajectory to God's creation, it is happening. We are learning to do better. Not fast enough, but I see God's plan breaking through. Reading some of Jim Holt's book convinced me that I don't care about his question, why is there something rather than nothing? I choose to accept that we exist because of an intelligence far beyond our understanding is expressing itself through creation. The fundamental question that I do care about is, how do I do good with what I'm given? How can I contribute to the purpose that is written into the DNA of creation? Have you not known? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? This, to me, is hope. And Isaiah says that without such hope, people, even young people, will become weary and stumble and fall. But those who wait upon the Lord will have their strength renewed, run without becoming weary, and remember how to fly. That sounds like the kind of good news that we could use about now.